Hi, my name is Jeremy Smith, and over the last 3 or 4 years of building this channel, I have continuously asked agents to write me and tell me what areas they're having problems with, what content they want me to put out. And probably overwhelmingly, one of the main topics everybody wants to learn about and hear about is leads. And I'll be honest, I've kind of procrastinated to get to this topic because I don't have a lot of experience in it, or I didn't have a lot of experience in it. About 4 months ago, I decided to dive headfirst in so I can hopefully add some real value to my followers. And so about 4 months ago, I jumped in and started researching lead companies. I decided to purchase annuity leads. I know that a lot of you guys that are listening are probably buying leads in other categories. You might be buying leads for Medicare or final expense or life or something else. I've tried to make it to where I think about 95% of all the content that I'm going to put out on this 9-part training series will apply to you regardless of what kind of leads you're buying, okay? So let's jump into this. And first of all, I want to say this. I still welcome anybody to add into your comments or reach out to me and tell me any other topics that you'd like me to teach on. You send it to me, most likely I will find the time to be able to put something together and get something out there for you in a timely fashion. Okay, so leads. Obviously the first topic we've got to talk about is choosing a vendor, which I found to be kind of crazy in the difference between the vendors that are out there, at least on the annuity leads option list. And I'm sure it's the same with all the different categories. My first thing I guess I would tell you is this: spend the time and do your research. I think that's the very first thing we really got to cover today is how to pick these right vendors. And one more little sidebar, as you're watching these trainings, if you've got a vendor that you're super happy with, that you've had success with, put it in the comments. Let the other agents that are watching this, give them some legs up. Let's stay away from all the negative stuff on the vendors that we don't have good experiences with. I know that list is probably longer than the good list, so try and stay positive. If you've got somebody that you really love, put it in the comments section for future agents to read. So again, do your research. I want to talk to you about the 7 things that I would recommend you when you're making these calls to different vendors out there and interviewing them, things that I would ask. Obviously, number 1, cost, right? And in the annuity lead side, there was vast differences. I mean, you're talking 50% difference between what company may charge for an annuity lead versus another company. May not be quite that big of a gap when you're talking about Medicare and final expense, because those are lower, commission type products. The variance probably isn't as much, but there's differences. So obviously you got to find out the cost. Number 2, I'd figure out how their leads are produced. Are they produced through social media, through email? Are they produced through telemarketing? Figure out how they're produced, because that's going to have a lot to do with how you handle your phone calls and how you handle the leads themselves when you're connecting with these prospects. I would also figure out what the messaging is. Figure out what are the questions they're asking or the statements that they're making in order to get said prospect to turn into a lead. Again, that's going to have a lot to do with the end game of this and how you're speaking to these people, what their hot points are, and what you're going to want to talk about real quick once you got them on the phone. Here's a big one. Figure out what this lead vendor considers a good lead. That's such a big question, because you're going to get bad leads. It just goes with the game. You're going to have X percentage of your leads that they're not good. They just don't amount to much. They don't really expect you to be calling them. Some of them may not even know why you're calling them. Some of them may not even speak English or speak your language, I guess I should say. Figure out what your vendor considers a good lead. And by that, what I mean is what leads might you get refunded for if they turn out to be a bad lead? Figure that out up front so you can figure out what leads you might want to turn back to them and see if you can get your money back. And especially when you're talking about premium leads like annuity leads, that's really important because you could be paying $250 to $500 a lead. And next thing you know, you've got somebody that's speaking another language. They have no idea who you are, why you're calling, or how they even became a lead. Normally, if you find a good vendor, they're going to recognize that, and they're going to give you a replacement lead or refund your money. Step 2 to that, though, is figuring out how do they vet these prospects and turn them into leads. Does the prospect have to go on and fill out some type of a form and complete that, a second step, versus just maybe entering into their portal somehow? Is there a confirmation call that the vendors put out to confirm that they're interested and that somebody's going to be calling them? That's a really big, important thing to find out from all these different vendors that are out there. If you can read testimonials, I would recommend doing that, and I'll take that one step further. If you can get your contact at the vending company to get you contact information to other users that are purchasing leads from this company and hopefully doing it with some success, that's really where you want to get to, because that's where the horse's mouth. They're the ones that are going to tell you what your expectations should really be. They're the ones that are going to hopefully even tell you tricks to the trade, things that you can do to improve your conversions. Most of the vendors I talked to would allow me to get to them. It took maybe a couple phone calls and making it to the point where they knew I was a very serious potential buyer before I could get to it. But it's something I strongly recommend you doing, is spending some time with whoever you got on the phone and see if they will get you some contact information of 1 or 2 people that are actually using their products. You get to those people, find out good information from them, and you probably got a good home. Okay, that's 7 minutes. That's it for the content today. Like I said, we've got 8 more of these videos to go. I'm going to assume on my next video that we found a lead vendor, and we're ready to start getting into action. And so we're going to start talking on the next video about actually making a business plan for how to tackle these leads and eventually turn those into consistent results on a consistent basis so our income is consistent. Again, please subscribe if you haven't already. Make comments. I'd love to hear your feedback, and we'll look forward to seeing you in our next video. Thanks for your time. Bye-bye.